What's going on, people? What's really good? It's your boy Marv, and this is the Nerds in the Hood. Folks, feeling good right now. Summer is coming to an end, so I'm trying to cram in all my summer movies as much as I can. I don't know about y'all if y'all like to do that. I like to do that. Get all my summer movies out the way before summer is done. I mean, it's not like you can't see it again, but by then, once it gets colder, you're more like, I'll just wait for it to stream. But your boy don't gotta wait for it to stream because I got that AMC Stubs rewards. I'm an A-lister. And when you're an A-lister, you get to do things like this segment I always like to call the Movie Pass Movement. That's right, folks. When you have that A-list like me, you part of that AMC, you get their stock and you invest in, that's who you rocking with. So for the price of one movie ticket, I get to see 4 movies a week. So if I play my cards right, and I do it the way they want me to do it, that is 20 or 16. It could be 16. Sometimes it could be 20. But it all depends on the amount of weeks. But that's 16 movies in a month. Just saying. This is one of my 16 that I just saw. Well, I saw it a little bit ago. I just haven't gotten around the time to really getting on that. And the name of that movie is called Caught Stealing. I don't know if y'all saw it yet, but we're going to talk about it. Spoiler alert, people, as always. There will be some spoilers ahead. Caught Stealing is an interesting film that I recently just saw. Came out in late August. Shout out to Charlie Huston, who wrote the book and basically wrote the screenplay. And Darren Aronofsky. Yeah, right? I said his name right? Yeah, Darren Aronofsky. If you've seen other movies he's made, like Pi and Noah, and just reading off of the IMDb, you'll know that this guy has made some films, made some stuff, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, this film had an interesting cast for an interesting premise. So this is a film that was about a guy named Hank, or Henry, who was played by Austin Butler, aka Elvis. And this film, Hank, it's set in the 90s. Hank was just, making it do in the Lower East Side of New York City. And he lived in a nice little apartment, and he saw his girlfriend from time to time, Yvonne, who was played by Zoe Kravitz, aka Catwoman. And at times, your mans would just go to work. He was a bartender at night, and during the day, he just chilled. Now, this man, you find out, had an unfortunate past where he was a promising prospect of a baseball player, and he was looking to go pro at a certain point. He kept playing his cards right, but one day he was just wilding out, speeding too fast in a car with his boy. They almost got into a situation where they almost hit I believe it was a cow, but they didn't. But instead, they got into a car accident where they hit a pole, and it caused one of his good friends that he played baseball with to pass away because of his drunk driving and reckless driving. So now his life has just been in shambles. He's watched other people go on into the major leagues where he just had to sit there and be a spectator. And his mom rooted for him every step of the way because parents do that no matter what. Long story short, his roommate Matt, who's played by Doctor Who, Matt Smith, aka, well, no, his roommate's not named Matt, right? Or his roommate's named Matt? His roommate's named Russ. I'm sorry. I was going by his government name. His roommate's named Russ, who's played by Matt Smith, aka Doctor Who, aka Prince Daemon Targaryen. You know what I'm saying? And this dude, you find out he has himself a little hidden agenda too, because my man was working money with different mobs and dirty, crooked people. One of those crooked people included a crooked cop by the name of Detective Roman, who's played by the legend herself, the lady who gave us the voices of both the Freeman brothers, Miss Regina King. And she is one of the people in charge of an evil crime syndicate who is also weirdly had these like funny little 2 Russian dudes, I think they're Russian, and a guy that we thought was the boss who was played by Bad Bunny. Yeah, it just keeps getting weirder and weirder. So now Russ was accidentally involved because he was looking after, Hank was accidentally involved in Russ's business because he was looking after Russ's cat for a little bit of time. And these 2 goons came up to Russ's apartment looking for a certain item, and they ended up beating the brakes off of Hank so bad That your man didn't know what he was going to do. And they said that if you keep pushing your kidneys, because they beat you up so bad that they bruised your kidneys so bad that you can't drink anymore. It was a whole bunch of different situations that just kept happening one by one. And it was all about Hank basically having to take accountability and grow up and clean his own messes. Yeah, more or less. Anyway, it don't even get crazier there, folks, because one of the other people you find out, there's a patron in the bar, a customer that is a regular, and his name is Amtrak, and he's played by Action Bronson, the rapper, who I didn't even know was in this film. They didn't promote him to be in the film or nothing. They just kept promoting Bad Bunny because, it's Bad Bunny. It's one of the biggest musicians in the world. And shout out to Bad Bunny, man. He's starting to come up in these movies more, speak a little more. You see him speaking some more English and stuff. And I think that's dope because he's building his resume as an actor in case he wants to just do more acting stuff, which I'm pretty sure at this point he will. This is probably like his third or fourth movie now. So I'm liking what I'm seeing by Bad Bunny. It's funny because in the trailer, they make it seem like he's going to be the bad guy. And then you find out that he's not the bad guy. Well, he's not the final boss. He is the bad guy, but he's not the final boss. That's what I mean. They make you think he's going to be the final boss and he's nowhere near the final boss. So I thought that was dope. Spoiler, the final boss is actually Regina King. But then you find out there's even other final bosses, which are two Hebrew dudes. One of them is played by Liev Schreiber, a.k.a. Sabretooth. And I think the other one is played by, is it Griffin Dunn or is it Sean? I think it's Griffin Dunn. But yeah, either way, these guys are monsters. Like, they're two like pretty tall, pretty stocky Hebrew dudes. And they have a funny chase scene, which was one of the funniest scenes. Like, they're like, yo, Hank, come here. Let me talk to you. And they chase this man through a good chunk of Chinatown. It's mad funny. And I feel like they got as much authenticity of Lower East Side as they could. And I thought that was cool too. But all in all, what grabbed me for this movie was the fact that this was a crime film. But it was not just any crime film. We see a lot of crime films. If you kind of like put them into different subgenres, basically, it's one of those crime films where it's all about like getting the money and collecting money and stuff like that. Like, those are the type of films I always love to see. Like films like Snatch, for example, or organized crime, or like Snatch, or Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, Rock and Roller. I know those are more British films, but those are the type of films I like, and I felt like I was getting those vibes here with Caught Stealing. Even though the time period was like the 90s, it was still the fact I was getting that, like, oh, you got to go see the Hebrews, and you got to worry about the Russians. And I like those type of films for some reason, because they give you this, organized crime shouldn't be this colorful, oddball world where you laugh at certain things. It really shouldn't, because it's dangerous. But in films, they can always make it look very colorful. Now, obviously, if you try to enter into these organized crimes in real life, you probably won't get as far as you really think you'd get. Who knows? But I wouldn't risk it. But when you watch it in a movie, it's something so fun about watching people go through these trials and tribulations to get the money, or they're never coming back. And to me, that was kind of like, for some reason, that was cool to me. I thought that was freaking awesome. And I got that in this film. Did it get crazy at times? Yes. Did it get really intense? More intense than it should have? Definitely did. Was it a good film? What were the vibes like, when you ask? The vibes was good. This film was valid. Like I said, there was chase scenes, there was shootouts, there was twists and turns. You wasn't sure who the final boss was, because again, you see the commercials in the trailer for this film and you think in your mind, oh, it's definitely Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny is the final boss. That's pretty crazy. And you find out it was never him to begin with. And the only thing that made me laugh was there was a scene where one of the Russian goons, and I thought in my mind, like, oh, he about to turn up. This is about to be a real fight. And Hank like two pieces him and he gets knocked out. And that made me laugh too, because a lot of people got unalived in this film, and that goon was not one of them, even though he probably should have, because he was a beast. He was on the floor. He was like headbutting people. It was crazy. And you're like, man, all this over a cat? Because that's what you saw in the trailer. And you find out it was levels to this. But I liked it. You didn't really go here to see like a guy trying to grow up, even though that sometimes is most organized crime films. You came for the monsters, the Hebrews. And I'm not tying them together to say that the race is monsters, please. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the characters in the film were known as the Hebrews, and they were saying it was monsters in a goon setting. I don't want nobody to get it twisted. So they made the film to me because it wasn't seeming like a very action heavy film until these guys showed up, and they literally got the chase scene, and then the chase scene turned into something crazier, which I'm not going to fully spoil for y'all, but it did result in a shootout scene at the end where they came into, I believe it was like a wedding or a wedding reception, and they started wilding. They aired out the whole venue. And I was like, yo, these guys came with grenades. Grenades. That is why I say those type of films. Even, what was the other one? The Gentleman, which was more of like a hybrid. It wasn't really, it was a British film because Guy Ritchie made it, but you also had Matthew McConaughey in it. But it was one of those type of vibes. Like The Gentleman was another similar situation where it was wacky, and it shouldn't have been wacky, but it dealt with organized crime. So it was like, this is type one of those kind of collecting money films. I guess I like to call it. I dub it that. Collecting money films. It was one of those joints. And I guess the whole purpose of calling it Caught Stealing was because Hank used to be a baseball player, and stealing is something you do in baseball, and you can get caught and get tagged out. And in this film, he wasn't stealing anything because he had nothing to originally do with it. But there was different themes to it. And I just wanted to touch on that real quick. It was a good movie. You guys should go see it. It's in theaters still now to this day. If you want to wait for it to go to streaming, that's fine. And you want to focus on another movie, that's fine too. But I really think y'all should check it out because, again, we came for this. Action Bronson scenes were also not a lot, but he made it work. He made it work. He had funny New Yorker vibes because he's from New York. So he made it work. He made it work. We wasn't asking anything else from him because, again, I didn't even know he was going to be in this movie. So, worked out for me. Anyway, go see this film. Check it out. It's a cool, gritty action-y film. And I think the one thing that also made me feel close to home was, like, watching him listen to voicemails from his moms. Because he's from California originally. So hearing voice messages from his moms, just random times of the day, just about like, they were San Francisco Giants fans, and just watching them make like different drinks where it's just like, oh, the Giants are doing it. They're going to get the playoffs. They're going to do this. And I wish it was you. You could have been up there. You're my superstar. It's like, dang, that hit home. My mom does the same thing at times. She'll show me things, different entertainers, different movies, music, comedians, and it's never too late, but you always see that you know your biggest fans is your parents. So that was a really touching moment that they kept doing that, and then you do find out who his mom actually is and was sending those voice notes. So that was an interesting mid-credit scene, I believe. So that was pretty cool too. So stay around for that. Anyway, I'm gonna have to catch y'all next time, man. Oh, hold on. I gotta talk about the MVP. The MVP real quick. You know when you start remembering things from the movie, the MVP was that there was a neighbor in the film who lived right next door to Hank. I believe his name was it Doug or was it Dwayne? I feel like it was Dwayne. Yeah, it was Dwayne. And this dude was a nosy neighbor who had a middling job, and he just worked, he was working to get by. He didn't have really a lot of strong dreams. He was building websites and stuff like that. But one of the coolest things was that he saved Hank in the end. Because when the goons came looking for Russ and beat the brace off of Hank, he opened the door and was like, yo, what should I do? And if he didn't open the door, they probably would have bodied your man, Hank. This movie would have ended a lot earlier. So there was times where he was saving him. There really was times where he was saving him. Even there was another time where Bad Bunny's character was going to take Hank out. And he came to the door again and was like, what's going on in there? Y'all making mad noise. And Bad Boy was like, get the heck out. And then he's like, nah, you saw our faces, thanks. And they left. So it was very, very interesting in that way. And I don't know about y'all, but the reason I said Regina King will always be known as the voice that gave us the Freeman brothers is because she voiced Huey and Riley Freeman on the Boondocks. And every time after that show came out, anything that she acts in, I can hear Huey a lot. I can hear Huey. Not so much Riley, but I can hear Huey a lot. It's crazy. So it's always dope to come back to those things. There was even an extra in the film. It was an old lady that was watching. She was walking in. She was one of the tenants in the same building as Hank and Dwayne. And I believe she was Darren, originally the director's like neighbor. And she always like talks to him and everything to the point where he was like, nah, we got to get you in a movie. And she played a tenant in a movie. So that's love. That's respect right there. But anyway, not going to hold y'all anymore. Go see this film if you haven't seen this film. Caught Stealing. Good, gritty crime drama joint. Your boy Marv Lat. Catch y'all next time. Make sure you follow me on all social media using the link tree in the description below. Follow me everywhere. Check out the content that I am brewing with the things I'm doing. And as always, write in the comments, share, let a friend know that Nerds in the Hood is out here doing a thing. We coming back up. Catch y'all next time, people. Peace.